After a week of playing Ash Echoes, I'm here to give you a full review and let you know whether or not this game is worth playing. And let me start with the TLDR. This is the one game that's going to be surprisingly interesting if you would just give it a try. At least that was the case for me. And with that said, let us start with one of the main focuses of this game, in my opinion, which will be the storyline. I won't be spoiling too much, but it is clear to see Ash Echoes is actually a game that has really immense focus on its story and quality. On screen right now will be one of those tear-jerking scenes that you would see in the first week of playing the game. And in this game, you can tell that it is fully animated and fully voiced as well. Give this a listen. Don't you just want to give this girl a hat pad? And yep, it does have some pretty crazy twists, let me tell you that. So for story enjoyers or for even casual players like myself that just want to come in and enjoy some storytelling while having some interesting gameplay, this is exactly the game for me, and it has been what kept me playing every day for the whole week. And honestly, there are a lot of games out there that has a really good main storyline, but a lot of the side story or character-based story gets a bit more neglected. In this game though, I'm happy to announce that they do not neglect any form of storytelling at all. With the first minute that we have with Chen Ying, we had a whole event based on Chen Ying and her own storyline as well that you can read. And even today, when we got another new banner in Spirit Dive right here, we got ourselves Scarlet. This character looks gorgeous, and she does have her whole side story as well that you can read through. Again, fully voiced as well. So it is a game filled with storytelling for you to just enjoy. That's also one of my personal favorite parts about this game. And yeah, before we move on though, hey, I gotta do my job here. If you want to support your boy, do download the game via my link in the description. Now, do note as well that using my link will mean that you're downloading the Southeast Asia version of Ash Echoes, which is published by Noctua Games. The so-called global version of Ash Echoes is actually just the US/EU version. Now, if you live in Southeast Asia, there's no reason not to download this version, the Southeast Asia version by Noctua Games. One of the benefits of downloading this game via my link for this version is that with this Southeast Asia version, you have Noctua Gold as a currency. 100 Noctua Gold equals to $1, and it is localized to my price. You can use Noctua Gold as a currency to purchase the packs or purchase resources from in-game. It's gonna be cheaper for you, and not to mention they have events sometimes where if you use Noctua Gold, you get points to redeem even more rewards. Not to mention with the Southeast Asia version, it has really low playable package size, which means you just have to download it for a bit and you can start playing while the background download is going. For an Unreal Engine game, 3 gigs of playable package size is really good. Not to mention if you're from Southeast Asia, you have, better server reset time with this version, and there's even local giveaways and events as well on the Noctua website or the Discord, which I will put every link in the description. So yes, I would appreciate if you download the game via my link, and yeah, join the community via the Discord link as well. With that out the way, let's take a look at how the gameplay looks a week into this game. You should be progressing through the story easily, and I'm not gonna spoil no stories, but you are also going to unlock one of the harder modes for the story, which is the Elite difficulty. This is where the gameplay actually comes really importantly into play, and allow me to show you my week 1 lineup with Laurel, Luke, Chen Ying, and Frida. I'm just gonna show you the various gameplay mechanics first, and then I'll dive deep into why this team in its own is so interesting, because you can build different archetypes. I'm basically using a summon archetype, right? I'll show you what happens. Now in this game, you start like this. Position your characters however you like. There's also some backup characters if any one of your Echomancers die. Notice on the top left you have engraving rating, which just means the amount of buff in terms of stats for your characters, and you can see each one of the stats bonus on the top right here. You can get these via an in-game mode that I'll show you later. We'll just start with the gameplay. Now in terms of mechanics, there are a lot. I'm gonna start with just introducing what my main idea is with this team, right? It's starting with Chen Ying. I'm gonna use an E right here. This will summon some bird drones as attackers. This is like 5 summon right there. You know what? Why stop there? I have Luke here to go for another skill that can also summon these boxes here that would explode and attract aggro. And with my buffer in this character right here dancing, I'm gonna go ahead and buff my entire team in this radius. So boom, everyone gets a buff now. And with Laurel here, which is on attack mode, which hey, I want to attack currently, but if I'm getting a bit, low, then I'll switch to defense. But that will be how the game looks like. Look at this, right? I got a bunch of drones there. I got a bunch of bots here as well, and I can do it again. Why not? Let's go and do that. This is one of the archetypes of teams that you can try. I'm gonna go ahead and show you as well the various other mechanics the game has. I'm gonna use my skill once more here, get my drones in, and check this out. On the left side, I have this thing, which is basically elements on the field, right? Notice this. There's a fire hydrant, and there's a blocked character. These are 2 distinctively different gameplay features. The main point is for you to understand there's a lot of different mechanics in the game. I haven't even shown like nearly half of it yet, so I'm gonna go use my fire hydrant though on this block enemy. The block means the barrier, so let's go and do that. And here we go. We've turned the elements in our favor, right? Right now, the enemy's wet. So what I can do is a couple of things. If I apply, say, an electro element, which I don't have, you know, I'm going to go for backup here. Let's just swap out Luke here for my fire character and hit confirm. And let's have my fire character be right here. If the enemy is wet and you're able to land a fire zone, then you will able to trigger an elemental reaction. It should be vaporized that you already see on screen right there. You can see the vaporization effect here. Vaporize allows you to do more damage on the enemy. So yes, it's gonna be pretty unique, right? That's just only one of the elements. There's also a ton of others like combining ice with water, combining electro with fire. You actually get an explosion with that. So, and that is how the gameplay looks like. And there's even more like small little things. We got terminal skills here. If, you know, I just hide my cam on the bottom left here. If you click N, you get terminal skills, which I'm gonna start with support dispatch. This is my favorite one because it gets even more summons for me. This is my idea of the team. I want full summons, my terminal summons the bot, my changing summons the drone, all of that. We're just doing that in tandem, yeah? And with that, you've seen a lot of the gameplay. Yeah, you would think, oh, this is easy, but no, check this out. On the top here, you see 1/3. There are 3 waves in this stage, so we are even just on like the first wave. That's it. This does not look good, actually. It's pretty tough. But yeah, here we finally beat the first wave. I'm gonna go ahead and proceed to the second wave now. And that's the gist of the entire gameplay, right? The final thing that I'd love to show you will be the seed skill if I get the chance to, but let's see. I'm gonna swap out my fire character back to Luke because I want to start summoning everything again. And I'm gonna hit auto this time, which they should. You know what? I'm gonna use a seed skill right now. This is my Luke's seed skill, which is basically an ultimate ability. And it gets pretty interesting. With my seed skill, it is filled with animations as well. Mine looks like this. But yeah, I don't mind that. You can skip as well if it gets redundant, which let's go ahead and skip that. This gets on a motorbike, attacks the enemy like 3 times like so, drops down these drone on the ground and attacks the enemy as well. I love this team because it looks stupid. Like, look at this. I have another seed skill lined up with Chen Ying too. This is a nuclear weapon that just comes from the sky. It looks pretty crazy, which I love it, right? Let's go and skip this and check this out. With your seed skill, it works like this moving circle here that just obliterates everything in its path. It looks insane, yeah? And this is just one of the archetypes that I decided to build. It's the summon-based archetype where my character doesn't even have to do too much. It's my summons that do a lot, or like just, you know, the hyper beam from the sky that does a lot. And there are a lot more as well, like elemental-based reaction teams where you're combining mainly fire element with ice or fire element with water. You're combining water with electric. All of these does different things, and they can all be an archetype or team. You just gotta build them, right? Which is why there's a lot of things that you can try with this game. And that is pretty much the extent of one of the tougher stages. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave right now because, well, I got something else to show you, alright? That was the gameplay of Ash Echoes. I would say it's honestly really interesting if you give it a shot. It's really unique compared to any other games that we have usually. I come from like a, you know, turn-based RPG background, or it's always just the good old open world Genshin Impact type games. But this one though, I never quite seen before. It's like a chess game with strategy. You gotta place them right. Real-time mechanics as well. You gotta drag and drop your skill at the right time. And at times you want to utilize the very unique elemental reaction. So to introduce the characters that you've seen just then, we got Chen Ying here, one of my favorite characters. So I'm just gonna show you what each character can do. We got Chen Ying here with an active skill, Stellar Parade. This is basically the summon skill that I used that got 5 drones on the field, right? So that's one of the active skill that you can use. Every Echomancer would come with, you know, 2 other things. You got this second skill right here, which is a passive or an auto skill. This is an attack that they do automatically, right? So we just attack stuff and lands a debuff as well. Pretty good. And then with the seed skill, clearly seed skill is like, for Chen Ying, it's just a nuclear bomb that comes from the sky. And not to mention you have combat traits right here at the end, where every character has different combat traits. For Chen Ying though, she does command a main drone Lightseeker to attack as well, and Lightseeker is considered a summon. You can even summon a secondary drone every 30 seconds, so it gets crazy, right? The more you stand on field, the more drones are there. You can summon 5 for Stellar Parade too. So yeah, it gets pretty funny if your whole team has summons. And that is one of my favorite characters in my favorite team archetypes. And those are the distinctive characteristics with Ash Echoes that I find quite charming. And moving on, let's take a look at how you get stronger and progress your account, which is honestly not that difficult. If you go into your Echomancer and let's say you want to upgrade Laurel, upgrade your Ascension. This is one of the main ways that you can get stronger. Here are different materials that you just gotta hit go, right? Click on it, hit go, and you get the stage where they are dropping. Yes, for example, Lemonite. I'm just gonna go to R5 here, and there's even quick battle right there. I don't even gotta battle it manually, which saves me time. I love this function. Furthermore, you can enhance your Echomancers as well through fitness training, which is to do with, again, just spending currencies as well right here that has to be obtained uniquely from R&D, which I'll show you how it looks like. If you go in the menu, you see Seed Dome right here, which acts as sort of your base, where you can get, you have central command, you have basic R&D on the bottom left here, as you can see. So if you click on them, you are constantly producing these currencies for your characters to go in the training room and get extra stats. So right here, I got changing, let's get yourself more attack, which I need this. And yep, if I need this, I gotta go produce it with the Seed Dome. By doing so, you get more stats slowly but surely. And yep, that is one of the unique, off-grind gameplay that you can play. You don't gotta like just sit here and grind it. You can have it just produce currencies for yourself, produce materials for yourself. You don't gotta be on it 24/7, right? That's my main point. And that is two of the ways you can upgrade your Echomancers. However, though, that's not even the main way you can obtain increase in power. This is, in my opinion, the main way. It is the Nexus. The Echoing Nexus here is where you basically farm endgame stat line and farm endgame buffs in a way. Remember earlier when I said you have engravings when you go into a fight, you get bonus stats? This is where you obtain those engravings. So if you click on, let's say, this one, right? You get to choose anyone as your leader. So just then I used Laurel's, which is, the most recent one that I had. If I hit next here, I'm gonna go ahead and hit balance on the top right, which will apply all of these, which acts as my baseline stat here, initial stats there. If I want to higher initial stats, I'm gonna have to upgrade these, but let's say if I can't, I'm just gonna hit start. As I hit start, I'll get into the Nexus and defeat enemies. Every stage I beat, I'll obtain different buffs for my stats. I'll obtain different buffs in general in order to finally obtain, for example, something like this. If I hit quick generate, and boom, this will be what happens once you finish Echoing Nexus. You obtain main skills by completing the stages, which this is just different skills that will apply in battle. I got Wind Amplification here, which is one of the buffs there is. Corrosive Inspire right there. And we have regular skill as well, enemies at gate, which depending on the criteria, if I activate it, it'll get me stats, it'll get me buffs. And you can think of this as the gear sets or the equipments for your character, right? It's really unique. I've never seen anything like this. And that is the Nexus / engraving system. Play through the Nexus, the deeper you go, the better engraving rating that you get, the better engraving stats that you get as well. And you unlock more main skills and regular skills that can really help your archetype. Some main skills help your summons do more damage, or your elemental reaction to, let's say, do more damage as well, which does make it pretty clear what you want to do. You want to go through the Nexus, get the buffs you want, and for the perfect team that you want. And those are genuinely all of the things that I really found interesting. And the last thing, actually, though, would be just the amount of extra things there is. Honestly, there's a lot more. For example, this would be like more casual modes. We have like, just events with story as well. Okay, fully animated. I haven't read this story myself, and yo, Jesus, looks hot. Step on me and arrest. But yes, one of the casual modes that you have is just these side events, side stories that get constantly updated clearly. You get to understand more about the characters. In any case, this is the event. Yep, you can have fun with it. On the list as well, there's more casual modes like these chat more, basically your phone right here on the bottom left. If you click on the chat, you can read some funny interactions between the characters that you meet. You have a social media mode as well right here that you can hit like on and reply. I replied this right here. And you can just see some funny interactions, some cool pictures sometimes. It's pretty immersive, and not to mention there's also ways to interact with your Echomancers in this tea time mode here. I'm gonna demonstrate it. It's one of the casual modes. I find it quite charming. And yep, this will be your essentially bar area where you get to see the characters that you have. I have Laurel placed in here, and I can click on her to take a look at her. Or you know what? I can actually invite her for a date, or rather tea time. This is where we get her out for tea. Yeah, tea break, shall we? And we are going to go for a drink. And look at this, you can craft your own drink based on the understanding of your character, right? So I'm gonna go for lady fashion here, and these are just all different flavors. I wonder what the crutch she likes. I think she's the type of person to like ginger tea, maybe. No sugar. You're more like a no sugar type of girl, I think, with room temperature and magnolia to top it off. And we'll be making the beverage, and let's see if our character likes it. If they love it, you'll unlock more interactions and know about their lore better. You have like unique conversations, right? I think she doesn't like that. She did not finish it at all. Your taste is she does not love me. But yeah, that is the tea time mode. If you don't manage to brew a tea that they like, you can end tea time. You still get, you know, bond increase, right? But if you manage to make them like it though, you can actually unlock some pretty cool interactions, like some voice lines, some conversations as well. So that's one of the cool modes that we have. That's, I think it's pretty cute, yeah. And that will be all for this review. 1 week in Ash Echoes, I find it surprisingly fun. Yeah, I bet you would have some fun too if you just give it a try. I think this is one of the games where if you don't give it a shot, you don't know. Yeah, that's how I genuinely feel. So for the last time, do use my link in the description to download the game to support your boy. And yeah, that'll be all. Take care.